What's up, guys? It's Desert Fox. Just got done watching the E3 Xbox Media Conference. Showed it off a lot of games, a lot of stuff. They came out. They actually didn't talk about television at all, which people were worried about. They came out just like they said, games, games, games. They opened up with Metal Gear, the new one, 5 or whatever. This Ground Zero, and Phantom Pain. How that works in together with that, I'm not really sure yet. They haven't explained that, but they showed it off. Apparently, it's going to be the first open world one, which is surprising because Metal Gear is usually linear. Also, there's going to be real-time weather and everything, so there's going to be a lot of new stuff with it, um, which kind of gets me anxious in the series. Again, I only ever went through and completely beat 3. Started 4, never finished it. Then it was a lot of cutscenes and stuff, so I was kind of like, eh. Definitely want to go back to it now and go through all the other games now. It's kind of got me excited. It looked awesome. Keith Sutherland apparently is a voice now. I heard him, but it was only a little bit. So it's like, is David Hayter into voicing, and who's who? It's like there's that whole thing. It's probably a PR move by Konami. I would have had to pass them at all, especially after they did the Phantom Pain thing last year. After that, then one of the games we actually saw exclusive from Insomniac for Xbox One is Sunset Overdrive. Real bright, real colorful world, multiplayer with people. It looks like a real fun game, kind of I don't know, cartoon stylish like thing. It looks like some zombie like creatures apparently people have been turned into, and some wild weapons and stuff. So there was a short trailer for that. That looks awesome. Really surprising that Microsoft picked them up and had a game like from Insomniac exclusive. Not sure. They'll probably still be. They might be doing a separate one also because they've done 2 games before at once. So we'll see. Maybe the Resistance team is working on something else. This could be the Ratchet team. Um, then there was also the Halo, which we'll go into that. Then at first it was just a teaser trailer. He was walking through the desert, kind of had a cloak on him. You couldn't tell, but he opened his hand, and once he opened his hand, I was able to tell because you could see in the armor, Halo. You can tell by the detail and how the armor looks. And he had the like dog tag looking like chip that he used. Like Cortana was always got put in, and he put in the back of his helmet in his hand with a chain around it. So it seems like he's trying to maybe find what's left of Cortana to try to bring her back, maybe. And it's then when he was doing that, big Prometheus or Forerunner looking robots, kind of like creature, came out of the sand. It was real huge and kind of opened up and almost looked like it had wings and stuff. And then he looked upside, and it was pretty much the end of the trailer. It just said Halo. It didn't say Halo 5, which is kind of interesting. Could be maybe just calling it Halo since this new system. We'll have to wait and see on that. Dead Rising 3 got shown off. They showed that off. Not the same style as the original Dead Rising games, not 1 and 2. Not so cartoony, more gritty-ish, real looking in a way. One of the things I noticed in the trailer is you can make weapons on the go. You don't need a bench. Yeah, you can throw stuff like before, throw them at them, but there's a lot more zombies on screen, and it seems like they're normal kind of zombies, that it's more the sheer numbers and they can overwhelm you and stuff, which is really interesting. It looks like what Resident Evil, in my opinion, should be more like now, with that similar look in a way, more gritty, real look, but not all those special type zombies and whatever you want to call them, all the different virus stuff they have now. It looks like more original, like old school zombies that are slow. It's just the sheer numbers that can overwhelm you because he was surrounded and you saw his weapon break. Also, then they used smart glass, which is like, yeah, some people, but it was kind of cool. You could call down like an airstrike because he was surrounded. There was no way to get through on this highway he was on. They showed that off. Really would like to see what the multiplayer is in the game, if there's going to be anything. One of the biggest interesting things was no Capcom logo on it whatsoever, which makes me wonder, did Microsoft go out and buy Dead Rising or in the team, or did they just buy the title and then now they have a new team for themselves working on it? You also saw the teaser-like trailer from Flat Tusk Studios, which is Microsoft Studios in Vancouver. They've been building over the last couple of years. Been wondering what they've been up to. This is the first thing officially anything from them we've seen is World Class Studios, pretty much a huge team. Kind of almost looked like there was a guy propelling down the building. I'll probably have the video over here then to show you guys, so I can get all the video and doesn't get taken down for the video content because of copyrights and whatnot. But it kind of looked like a Siphon Filter maybe. I'm wondering, is this supposed to be like a spiritual successor of Siphon Filter maybe from some of the guys? Maybe some of the guys on the team worked on that. It kind of looked like that. Who knows exactly? It was just a short trailer, but it looked really awesome. Looked really good. Definitely excited to see what more of that later on. As I said, there'll be more of that. This was the first little thing from them. There was Titanfall then, which is the game from the guys who brought you Modern Warfare 2, most of the team of Infinity War before the whole debacle before 3 came out, where they left and went to go work on the new, start the new studio under EA, Respawn, which Titanfall looks real awesome. Sci-fi, first-person shooter with mechs in it that you can actually get in, and then yours is gets damaged. He hits the jet button, he flies out, jumps on top of another one, and then starts destroying it, takes it out. Looks really awesome. Looks, you can tell there's some mix of different things. You can see they have some, there's stuff from Modern Warfare as far as like points popping up for doing certain things and stuff like that. Was some of the first for that. So that's really, I've been really excited to see what those guys have been doing, because I made Call of Duty what it is now, this juggernaut. Even though it's now kind of the former's got the same, but so I was excited to see these guys do something else. Also, at the beginning, it sounded like Troy Baker, who, if you don't know, is the voice of Booker from Bioshock Infinite, and now Joel in The Last of Us. Definitely sounded like him at the beginning, so there's expect to probably see some really good voice acting, and hopefully some really good writing in that game also, with some awesome looking gameplay and style of everything, and just Giant Mechs for me is a win. It kind of looks like Armored Core in a way, mixed with some other stuff. I don't know, the first person tribes maybe in a way. Some Planet Side kind of to it too, with some of the weapons look and whatnot. But looks really interesting. Excited to see more of that. They announced more of the features. Rare finally coming back. They do have their Kinect game with Kinect Sports, which they didn't even show at the conference. They didn't show a whole lot of Kinect stuff. They got that out of the way before by announcing that for Kinect Sports Rivals from Rare. But the big thing from Rare is Killer Instinct is back. Myself, I've never played it much. I'm not the hugest fighting game person, but I know this is a really beloved fighting series by a lot of people who liked Rare. I know it was this or Banjo. People wanted a lot. I expected not to see new Banjo because Nuts and Bolts did not sell very well. Unfortunately, as much as people like it, people didn't buy it, and that's a lot of the reason why Rare ended up doing what they did, doing Avatar and stuff, because they kept the lights on and they waited. And now it looks like they've rebuilt their team and they're getting stuff ready. And now with Killer Instinct, and apparently, even if you were out there today, the community thing they're having for the Xbox, you were able to play it. Oh, my camera's refocusing there. That's weird. I guess I moved too much for it. But they really came out. They showed their A game. They announced the price of $500. That's exactly what I expected for. I mean, this is next gen tech. You're still buying. I mean, an iPad costs about that, almost that, or if not more. The newest iPad and new phones cost that. So for that, with what's in it, not really surprised at all. My graphics card, my GTX 680, when I bought it not even a year ago, cost more than that. My PC. So for next gen, like newer tech and stuff, that's not a very high price at all. That's a reasonable price. They're already taking a loss at that, which makes me wonder, Sony's going to have to be that, or it's going to be more. There's no way they can go less than that. If they do, they're taking a drastic price cut, which could end up hurting them more because they're taking too much of a loss on the system itself, because it uses DDR5, which DDR5 costs more than DDR3, which is in the Xbox 3. There's not a whole lot of differences. It's a little bit faster, but with the cloud computing and stuff, Microsoft will make up some of that room also with it. But that also, they chose that because it's easier to get in supply than DDR5 will be, and it's cheaper. So I wouldn't be surprised to see if we have supply problems with the PS4 when it first announces, because DDR5 is also using newer graphics cards, so they're going to be fighting with companies like NVIDIA and AMD to get DDR5 in large supply for as many PS4s as they'll need that people want. But overall, Microsoft really brought their A game. World Tanks now will be, for 360 users, will be free this spring. You'll be able to play that. So they're definitely showing they're going to be doing free-to-play games. Rise came back. It doesn't look very Kinect at all anymore. I'm not sure if there'll be maybe voice commands with it. But a lot of it's some QuickTime events. Look like a little bit much QuickTime events, but that can always be tweaked and they can lessen it by the time. But we'll have to wait and see what it looks like. This could just been like that. I mean, games can change by the time they come out. Apparently, it's going to be a launch title. Some of the games it's in the first year. Some of these that they're showing off. Showed off Forza 5, obviously. That looked awesome. Real detailed and everything. Looked awesome. But yeah, World of Tanks 3, they're going to have the newer Slim model, the 360. which I'm not sure the price of that will be. And I know available apparently today, which was kind of surprising, like come out like that. And they were definitely trying to show people that they're not going to just abandon the 360 as we move forward. They're definitely still going to be supporting it for years down the road, especially since there's such a large audience on it, and also to help people who haven't picked it up yet. So there's such a backlog of games that can get for it now, especially when you'll see a price cut for the 360 by the time the Xbox One comes out. You'll see it with both systems. So if you don't have either, but you wanted to because backlog games and you can't really afford a new system, but you want one of the older ones, wait till after the launch because there'll be a price cut on both of those. But yeah, they really stepped up. They brought their A game. There's probably some more I even missed because there was a lot of stuff, to be honest. Like I said, there was Rise, Sunset Overdrive. They came out, shut off Witcher 3, which Witcher 3 looks awesome. I'll probably get on PC because it's going to be a little better on PC, obviously. But the fact that Xbox people get that is really great and awesome. And it won't have to be a little dumbed down version like 2 was from the PC. It'll actually be able to keep up more since it's up to date tech now for the most part. It's not where PC tech is, the high end stuff, but it's still definitely up there. But yeah, there was Witcher 3, we got Titanfall, of course, from Respawn. Sunset Overdrive, they showed off Quantum Break, which really looks good. Engine, people are like, oh, there's no way this is going to be playing in engine. That they announced that it was, and they showed that it was, and that looks really, really good. I'm excited to those guys, Redemy. I really liked Alan Wake a lot. Alan Wake is definitely one of the last games that really blew me. Went and not expecting really much, knew anything. I came out loving that game. That game was awesome to me. They showed off Metal Gear. First thing they opened up with, Metal Gear 5. Like I said, don't know where that's really in. Apparently, Twisted Pixel's new game, Loco Cycle, this was announced beforehand even, is actually also a launch title. Also, Forza Motorsport 5, other games that had already been announced before. Dead Rising 3 was something new. It says here in the list I'm looking at, actually, it does say Capcom, but like I said, I don't know. That might be a mistake because there was no Capcom logo on that all, and rarely do you see a trailer for a game like that and no logo for the company that had owned it, or the publisher at least. Usually Capcom has their name on everything they have and all over their stuff. There was a new game, D4, looked anime stylish. It was a little weird. I'm not sure exactly what it was or who's making it, but definitely expect this. So you see a little more of that. I just really don't know much about it. Crimson Dragon from the Panzer Dragoon developers who made Panzer Dragoon. There was actually an audio problem at the time. Some AV person is getting fired probably because they had some sound issues, but there's no sound for it, but still looked pretty cool. Kind of like Ryan Dragon on rail shooter in a way and stuff. So it looked interesting. Not sure if it'd be more of an arcade title, full game price, or if this is gonna be kind of like one of their more where they can have games coming out that's in the like 30 price range or whatever, cheaper than not a 60 AAA title game. This could be your arcade, but we're gonna see, especially with this generation, a lot more. You won't be able to separate them. For example, State of Decay just came out, great game. I'll probably do a video on that talking about that. That was $20, but I put 30 some hours into it, and I could have done more. But so there's definitely that separation between Xbox Live Arcade games or even PSN games and full price AAA games. You're definitely going to see separation, or that separation be gone. It's going to be a mix. You'll get games that'll be way more worth more than what you pay, and also probably cheaper at the same time. Battlefield 4, of course, came out. That was the only third-party game really so far from the sounds of it that wasn't exclusive that they showed off. That looks like it. Apparently, you Xbox users will get the DLC early. They didn't say how early. I know PlayStation got all the DLC for Battlefield 3 a week early, so maybe a week, maybe a month, like Call of Duty is too. For Xbox, we don't know. I know if you have Xbox, you'll get it early before everybody else. So it's really interesting. But yeah, another game. It was a small game. I can't see anything from the developer for it, but they didn't show much. It was top down. It was a small. It would be an indie game called Below. Not sure exactly what it was. I missed some of it when I went to the bathroom quick, but they showed off some of that. There was a Dark Souls 2 trailer, which really has me excited for that. Definitely excited to see that. I'll show some gameplay then for that too. But they showed off some of that, and whatnot for that. And that was about all the games they really showed, but it was about 2 hours long. Yeah, they still haven't. It's just Halo for Xbox One the way it looks, but pretty much goes over everything that was shown off. From I could be Project Spark. Forgetting that. Really interesting game. I'll have some of the footage here, and then I'll put a link also for the whole thing if I can find it. But definitely interesting game. Looked really creative, and the things he could do in the world, and the way it was a live demo, and he actually talked to the Kinect and was able to tell it, oh, let's add this, and then at the one part they're fighting a goblin army and they're coming across, and it was almost like it kind of like I thought they could just made an Avatar game, because the guy's like making the earth like rise up like it was a bridge, but like almost like he's surfing on it, and he's going up, and another guy created fire and threw it out, and it created made like a lava or a fire pit across, and they couldn't cross, but then they came in their flying ships. But then the guy turned this rock guy into this huge like mech thing, and so it was really awesome, really interesting. Excited to see how that works out. It almost looks like you could create something like Little Big Planet, but more in detail and more. It doesn't have that Little Big Planet look. It has more of a real colorful style and look to the world. And it looks like you could create a lot of games in it. It looks like you can practically make games with it in a way without all the hassle of real programming stuff. Kind of. It was really different, really interesting. Excited to see more from Project Spark. Hopefully that actually comes out and it's not one of the cool, interesting things we see sometimes at E3 and then they never end up coming out at all, which happens a lot. But that was basically it overall from the Microsoft press conference. Waiting now to see to watch the rest of them. Was really really excited. It went really well. They did a real good job. Came out with this games that they said it would be. Definitely, I think that'll get more people not on their crap and stuff. That's what they got all that other crap out of the way first. The only thing besides games really is they announced the price, and it will be a November release date, probably the first week in November, I'm expecting, because this will be out before Call of Duty and the Battlefields, because I want people to buy those on the new systems. But I already went over the price launch and everything. But yeah, very well done. Microsoft brought their A game. I say now let's see what Ubisoft and EA show off at their press conferences then, and then also later on Sony. I'll try to do videos on them too. It all depends on timing and stuff. But expect to see more stuff from E3 from me over the week with different content and stuff. Alright, see you guys.